There's a lot of homophobia that still exists within the South Asian community, and we still see a lot of young folks who are struggling with coming out and trying to find the balance of whether they should come out or not, and fearful of what their parents and families might say. There are several individuals like myself who are accepted by my family, by my extended family, and community as a whole. That's why I'm allowed to be an out gay executive director of an AIDS service organization, because if I wasn't, then I wouldn't be here, type of situation. And a lot of our staff members are out as well at some level. But there's a lot of fear still within the South Asian community of, if I come out of the closet, what's going to happen? My parents are going to disown me. A lot of the international students that are coming in here are leaving India so that they can come and be themselves here and then get an education while they're here and start living their lives fully. And then they say, well, I don't need to tell my family. What they don't know won't hurt them, type of situation, so they can live their lives separately and sort of have dual lives that they're living. So racism, I mean, you have to talk about racism, right? And sort of what is valued and what is not valued, and sort of the lighter skinned, chiseled look is what's out there, right? And if you're blonde and blue eyed, then that's even better. And even it's in the sort of the mind frame of folks of color as well, right? So a lot of South Asians and East Asians and whoever really sort of lust after that because that is the norm and that's what's accepted. And when you look at shadeism within our communities as well, it's often the lighter skinned, the fairer people that are sort of thought of as symbols of beauty and not the darker skinned folks. And again, looking at the body types of individuals as well, it's that six pack and firm chest and like big arms and things like that people are drawn to. And again, that's a broad statement, and individuals have their own perceptions of their definition of beauty. But generally, that's the theme. So when a person of color, and I find this with stories from South Asian and East Asian folks, is that they're not so desirable if they don't fit into that. So if they go into a bar space, then they're sort of othered a little bit, unless they're part of the circle or part of the clique. Then they are othered, and they're not seen as attractive individuals, or they find it hard getting boyfriends or having a relationship with individuals, or they have difficulty conversing. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of yeah, everyone brings their baggage in here, and the one-on-one sessions and the questions that we get at forums and workshops. Absolutely, there's a lot of hate, self-hate at first, because everyone is making this individual feel like they should hate themselves for who they are. And there's not a lot of answers out there. When you look at media, when you look at stories, when you look at books, there isn't a lot of content around Hinduism and homosexuality, or South Asians and homosexuals, right? You really, really have to look. But when you open up a library, go into an LGBTQ section at the library, a lot of the books are for the mainstream community, it's not representative, right? And so when we do our work, we ensure that we try to have South Asians out and in the forefront of the work that we do. And it's only recently that we started seeing South Asians and people of color in media who are LGBT identified. I think there's a perceived sense that we're more inclusive, but it's becoming more apparent that we're excluding people. So, and a clear example is when we work on large campaigns, it's for the MSM community. Oftentimes, the campaign and everything is actually already handed to us, and then they're asking us to make it ethno or culturally specific. Well, I can't do much with, highly sexualized content. I'm not going to take it to Scarborough. I can't put that in a community health center in Scarborough and put our logo on it. Yeah, it's challenging, but if you can't challenge people if they haven't been brought to a certain level, right, of education or a level of comfort. And there's different ways of talking to different people and challenging people in a very respectful way that encourages conversation rather than isolates, right? So, and when we look at who we put in the media as a person of color and how we portray them, again, it's nice that the color is being represented, but oftentimes it's the hyper effeminate gay men or the really butch lesbian or, you know, the trans person who really isn't a trans person of color, you know, all those kinds of things come up. Meanwhile, there are a lot of trans people of color who are in you know, acting and modeling, etc. So I think it's nice that we talk about it and we consider it, but I don't think I don't think, I'm not going to say we, I don't think it's actually an inclusive process in terms of ensuring, and the resources are not put behind supporting that either.